steam-powered drones. We're going to be talking a little bit about engineering, art, and science in action. So we've got some different drone kits that we'll go over. First, about us, we, PCS Adventures, we are based in Boise, Idaho. We have 30 plus years of inspiring innovation and education, over 7,000 sites worldwide, all 50 states and several countries internationally as well. We really work to empower educators and then bring interactive play-based STEAM to students. So those STEAM curriculum kits, enrichment camps, and then full year STEAM solutions. So really we'll work with you if you reach out to our sales department. They can work with you to create that custom STEAM kit and really make it work with your site and your needs. Some of our partnerships I like to highlight, we work here locally with the Idaho STEM Action Center. We have a big contract with the US Air Force JROTC. So PCS is actually the biggest drone provider for the Air Force JROTC through our Discover Drones program. We also are running our second year of a competition this year, which we're really excited about in Batesville, Mississippi. So that's for our JROTC folks in those units. We also work closely with the Technology Student Association, so the TSA, and then we work very closely with the Governor's STEM Advisory Council in Iowa. So Tomorrow STEM's from Iowa. So we have a big initiative in Iowa as well as throughout various other states. So I'd just like to highlight some of those drone partnerships that we have. My name is Jan Zatlokal. I'm an instructional designer here at PCS Adventures. Over 8 years of experience as an educator, with experience from elementary all the way through high school, as well as leading professional development with teachers. So if you come out to some of our conferences, if I'm lucky enough to attend one of those, I get to do some really fun interactive presentations, and we get to get our hands on some of these really fun STEM kits. Also an FAA Part 107 commercial drone pilot. So I've been doing a lot with drones lately. So our kind of webinar agenda, we're just going to go over why would you use drones for STEM, 3 kind of PCS Adventures drones programs, and then a little drone skills overview with some parts and controls. We'll have a drone trivia game, and then wrap up and any questions, and then the big giveaway. All attendees will receive digital posters from Ready, Set, Drone. We're actually going to go over those posters, which is a great way for you to show, to kind of show you how we use these posters in our kits. These are from our Ready, Set, Drone poster, and that is with the Co-Drone Mini. So our Ready, Set, Drone is our introductory drone program. We'll talk about it a little bit more in just a minute, but it's our introductory drone program. It's all about line of sight manual piloting, so there's not a whole lot of coding involved with it, though this drone can be coded as well. So, and then one lucky participant will win a Co-Drone Mini at the end. All right, so I've got a question for you all first. You can answer in the chat. What excites you most about using drones in education? Awesome. Student engagement, how it excites the kids. Absolutely. Right. What a great carrot. Yep. Career exploration. That's a great one as well. Yeah. Wide range of career paths. Absolutely. Opportunities to apply that knowledge. Yeah. Exposing them to marketable skills. Absolutely. Career pathways. Excellent. All right. Awesome. So we've got a good wide range of answers. And I think there's no one correct answer on why to use drones with students. I mean, I look at it from my perspective as it being an educator in the classroom, and I always wanted to bring something to my students that they immediately saw as fun, right? They see this, they see a drone, and they are immediately hooked, right? It's so much easier to get into different science concepts and everything when they're so engaged and so excited. Awesome. Awesome. So looking to start a drone pilot program. Excellent. Perfect. So drones for STEAM, I think it comes down to 3 pretty key pieces here. Most of these were touched on already. It's that hands-on learning for real-world applications, right? They're going to learn some real-world skills, some transferable skills, and not just the hard science, the hard skills. They're going to learn a lot of those soft skills as well, right? How to work with a team. It's going to really encourage their critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. So I think our kits do a really good job of not just delivering a fun toy of a drone, but really showing it as an instrument to engage that critical thinking, that creativity, that problem solving, and then teamwork, right? We're seeing that be such a huge push in our schools right now to push towards that team building and that teamwork aspect. And then also those career pathways in STEM fields, especially for the older grades, kind of the upper middle school, high school, when the students are really getting into those career fields. It's a great way to look at those different career pathways in STEM fields. So we've got our Ready Set Drone kit. That's the one that does come with that Co-Drone Mini. I like to think of that as our really kind of our introduction to drones, right? That's all that manual piloting. So they're learning the stick movements of how to control the drone, and then learning how to pilot what is called line of sight, right? So they are looking at the drone. They're using their team members to help them navigate and use those stick movements. So in this one, they're really learning about drone parts and flight controls. This is a really good way to use drones to introduce engineering concepts. So I think this camp does a really good job of that. And then learning about the science behind drone flight. So those simple flight challenges for beginners. So essentially what they get in this kit are a big package with several drones, and then bricks, and they can build obstacle courses and work their way through those obstacle courses with drones. We include the materials in there as well to do flight logs. So there is a good ELA connection and that real world skill building, because every drone pilot has to keep a flight log of every single flight. So I like that real world connection on those flight logs. This is a really fun, hands-on, engaging experience for our students. All of our kits come with 12 one-hour lesson plans. So that's 12 one-hour lesson plans, and then everything you need in order to get going. We have our drone designers. So this is kind of exploring some of those STEAM careers with drones. This is a really cool blend of art and coding. This is also 12 one-hour lessons and comes with everything the students need to create a drone performance. So what they're doing is they're using block-based coding or Python to code these Co-Drone EDUs, and then code them for creative flight paths, and then figure out how to choreograph light shows and aerial patterns. So it's essentially they're creating a costume drone to enhance storytelling in digital media. So it's a really fun, exciting way to introduce coding, technology, engineering, and then some of those STEAM careers. We actually worked with Cirque du Soleil on this program in order to mirror some of those real world drone careers and those drone career pathways. So this is a really fun, engaging way to bring kind of arts, science, and coding and technology together. Yeah, here, these pictures, I forgot to mention, they do actually, these are pictures from our pilots that we've done in the Treasure Valley here in Idaho. It's the Boise area. So these are pilots with different students, drone pilots, right? It's kind of a pun on itself, but yes. Here's some pictures here of in the upper left-hand picture is a costume drone that a student actually put together and was able to code and fly. So they create that character and that costume and then tell a story with that performance. For your older kind of grades there, for your going on into high school and kind of upper middle school ages, right? That kind of 9th, 10th, 11th grades, we've got our Discover drones. This one, I've heard it described really well as kind of the driver's ed for drones, right? These are outdoor drones. These are learning about the flight physics, lots of problem solving, teamwork, lots of information about safety, and then career exploration. So here they are working in teams to actually build, configure, and then learn how to pilot what we call the RubyQ drone. So this was a drone that was developed in-house by PCS Adventures. And we're really excited about this, that we have students actually build the drone from components. And as they build it, they go through a lab card curriculum where they learn about each component as they're adding it to the build. They learn how to fly on an FPV flight sim called FPV Freerider. It's really engaging. Again, you can see in the picture here that I'm highlighting, comes with all the materials, 5 drones, all the materials for up to 25 students at a time. If you have more students, reach out to us and we'll work with you. If you've got a small after-school club, we've got smaller packages for that as well, where we've got like a 2-drone package and things that work for that after-school club as well. This one is one of the coolest after-school clubs you could possibly offer at your school, in my opinion. Yeah, for this drone, do you build each one or pre-assembled? So this one, they all do come as a kit. So it is pre-assembled, but the building of it, we find, is a really integral part of the curriculum. So they learn about each of the components as they build it, right? They're going to be, as they add the motors, otherwise known as ESCs, so the electronic speed controllers. So as they add that component, they actually learn a short lesson about how the flight controller controls the motors, right? So as they go through the build on each piece, there's accompanying material and lessons that have the students work through, as well as a long-term project that the students can work through as well. But yeah, it is easy enough to build. We provide all the materials and all the instructions in there to build that. The very cool thing about the RubyQ drone, if you notice the cool headset that this student is wearing, this can be flown in FPV, which is an acronym for first person view. So you can put that FPV headset on, right? It's kind of like a VR headset, and you can see from the perspective of the drone's camera. So it's really engaging. It's really exciting, that kind of FPV racing. We also talk a lot about different career exploration and different career opportunities in the drone industry and just in the tech industry and engineering industry as well. So there's a lot of accompanying jobs that you can talk about with drones as well. Yes, we do also offer extensive training to help build and fly the drone before bringing to students. So with this package, you do also receive all the digital resources that you need to get started, and then a 2-hour build session with myself or one of our other trainers, and then a 2-hour configure session with myself or one of our other trainers as well. So all the resources you need to get started and be successful. This drone is not technically NDAA compliant. For any of you who are unfamiliar with that, that simply means that it can't be purchased with certain federal dollars. All right, any other questions on our 3 kind of drone kits? That was a pretty fast overview of those. On our website as well, we have a lot more in-depth information, and if you'd like, reach out to us. You can ask questions now or reach out to us afterwards as well for a little bit more in-depth information on any of our kits or any of our products as well. To my knowledge, the RoboLink drones, that's the company that makes the Co-Drone Mini and the Co-Drone EDU. To my knowledge, those are not NDAA compliant, but I don't work for Co-Drone, so you'd want to kind of look on them a little bit. I do know that Co-Drone has a JROTC edition drone, but to my knowledge, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's NDAA compliant.
We can tell you that the RubyQ, or the Discover drones, has been approved for a contract with the Air Force, JROTC programs, and so that did go through a very rigorous compliance and approval, and it doesn't have, I think, one of the main data and privacy issues, and so we passed both of those standards that they were trying to look into and objectives, and we can share more information with you on that too.
So we're kind of into a different part here. So we are going to go over some of these posters that you are going to receive for free. So we'll, at the conclusion of the webinar, everybody will receive a PDF document with all of these posters as well. And then so you'll have access to these resources. Like I briefly mentioned at the beginning, these resources are in our Ready, Set, Drone program, which comes with the Co-Drone EDU. And so if you stick around till the end with the giveaway, you have a chance to win one of these Co-Drone EDUs. So this poster works directly with that and is part of that Ready, Set, Drone curriculum. So here are the parts of the drone labeled. So we have various pieces. We have prop guards. So some drones have prop guards, some do not. Those are often meant to actually guard the props from hitting things as opposed to guard your fingers from going in the props. Is a kind of common misnomer. These props won't severely injure you, but it doesn't feel good to stick your fingers in them. So just to let you know. All of our kits also come with safety equipment, eyeglasses for safety equipment as well. So we also have the frame of the drone. So the frame of the drone is kind of this piece here. That's the actual piece where all the components are housed inside. We've got, this drone comes with an LED light, so light emitting diode on the top. It can actually change color and gives you indications based on battery life and things like that. So the drone will start beeping, blinking red when the battery is getting low. You've got the arms. So here are the arms. The arms connect to our motors. And so the motors are held inside here. And then we have our propellers. So our motors spin those propellers, right, to create lift and then move that drone around. So those are the kind of basic parts of this drone. Also, we have underneath, we have some sensors on this drone. So we have sensors that can essentially help the drone navigate. So this drone has a mini sensor on there. It's essentially a camera that calculates that distance so that it knows when it's too close to something. So you'll notice when you're flying this drone, if you walk too close to it or put your hand up too close to it, it tends to navigate away from your hand or away from the walls, things like that. You also have inside a flight controller, which is essentially a computer that communicates with the motors, the sensors, and all the other components in this drone to make sure that it is spinning the props correctly and providing thrust correctly on all of the motors. That flight controller is going to listen to your radio, which we'll be going over a little bit as well. So it's going to listen to that and respond to those stick movements. The propellers. So our propellers spin in different rotations. And so for drones, it's really important to put the right propellers in the right spot and then to make sure that the motors are configured to spin the right direction. Right, so you've got your motors that are running clockwise. So your clockwise motors, and then your counterclockwise. And so they have to spin in that exact direction in order to create lift. I always explain it simply to students that they spin essentially towards the middle of the drone, right? So if you see the arrows, it spins towards the middle of the drone. So it's kind of spinning towards the center. And that is going to actually create that lift. And then so if you are ever building a drone or configuring a drone, you have to make sure that you are putting your props on correctly. Otherwise, the drone is likely to flip over, flip upside down, or fly erratically. Then you've got your drone controls. So if you notice here on this, this previous slide, you've got your front here, and then the rear of the drone. Notice on the Co-Drone Mini that the yellow props are in the front. Okay, so when you're looking at this poster, it's really important to think about the yellow props being in the front. So your drone controls. So up and down is what we call throttle. right? So these are all, industry terms here. So your drone moving up and down, a drone pilot would say that you will throttle up or throttle down. So, or increase throttle to go up or reduce throttle. And so when you throttle up, essentially what the flight controller is doing is telling all of the motors to work together and to provide power at the same time, the same amount of power at the same time, right? So you want to increase your throttle, you want to go up, you want to provide more power to the propellers all at the same time. If you want to spin, so you want the drone to rotate, that is called yaw. So the drone will rotate, and what that will do is provide varying power depending on the direction on the motors. So that will turn the drone without losing any change on its right or left or up or down axis. So that will turn the drone, and that's called yaw. When you want to put the drone forward or backwards, so notice the yellow props here in the front. So forward, you would say that you're going pitch forward, and then backwards is going to pitch backwards, right? So that'll cause the drone to go forwards or backwards, and then roll is side to side. So if you want, say you're instructing one of your team members to move to the right by about a meter, you would say roll right 1 meter, right? Or roll left, or pitch forward by 1 meter. Pitch back, pitch forward, roll right, roll left, throttle, and then yaw. So those are the actual industry terms on how to control a drone. How those terms translate to your stick movements. There are different ways to configure your stick controls. In Australia, they actually have it kind of reversed. But in the United States, and most of the times you encounter drone stick controls, they'll be put together like this. So you'll have your left stick and your right stick. Your left stick, the up and down is going to control your throttle up and down. So that's going to control the drone to go up and down. It'll also control the yaw, so that'll control your spin. Your right stick will be configured to do pitch and roll. So you put your right thumbstick up, you're going to pitch forward, pitch backwards, and then roll left and right. And so when we're teaching students how to practice these different motions, we always start with one stick movement at a time, and we generally go with throttle first, then they learn how to pitch forward and back, then roll right and left, and then yaw. Yaw is kind of the last one, because if you yaw, you'll end up backwards. And then all of your stick movements many of your stick movements will be in reverse. So if you end up backwards, your right stick's going to be all in reverse. So when you're learning to fly, I always tell beginners, try and ignore the yaw as much as possible, and stick with throttle, pitch, and roll. All right. So that was the kind of your fast overview of your different posters. So you've got your different parts, your propellers, your drone controls, and then that actual radio controls that correspond. We've got a quick little trivia. The rules here, each question has one correct answer. So you want to type your answer into the chat, and then kind of your first correct answer wins points. Our chat moderator is going to kind of help us track these answers. So don't necessarily worry if you're the fastest on the draw. We're just going to see who can get these answers after our quick overview. All right. So if everybody's ready, I'm going to go to the first question, and then we're going to start a timer. Okay, so you'll get about 15 seconds. So our first question, what are the 4 main drone controls? Awesome. All right, fantastic. Yes. So the 4 main drone controls, right? We've got throttle, pitch, yaw, and roll. Yeah, congrats, Jay. Quick on the draw. And also everyone for answering A. Excellent. All right, so question 2. What part of a drone protects the propellers? Awesome. Yes, prop guards, right? So that protects the propellers. Remember, that's more so to actually protect the propellers from getting bent if it bumps into a wall or something. So that's the prop guards. It also does protect, your fingers as well. All right. What happens when you increase the throttle? Awesome. Yes. Fantastic. So yes, when you increase the throttle, the drone moves up, right? And essentially what that's doing is telling the flight controller, but it's going to increase the power. Yeah, send equal power to everybody. Yeah, to all of those motors. Yeah, because if you think of it, if you only send power to 2 of the motors, the drone's going to tilt. So the flight controller has to be smart enough to know to send the correct amount of power to all 4 of those. What control makes a drone spin left or right while staying in place? Left or right, so spin left and right. Awesome. Yes, it is the yaw. Yeah, so spinning left and right is that yaw, right? While it's staying stationary. Yeah, going right and left would be roll. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next question. If you push the right joystick forward, what will the drone do? Awesome, yes. So yeah, if you push the right joystick forward or up, the drone will move forward, right? So that's the otherwise known as pitch. It'll pitch forward. All right, next one. What does CCW stand for in drone propellers? All right, CCW. Awesome, yes, that is the counterclockwise. So CCW is counterclockwise. CW would be clockwise. Yeah. All right. And I believe we've got a bonus question here. So if you know the answer, type it into the chat. This one is not going to be multiple choice. So it's probably going to take you a second more, but type in your answer to this bonus question. What is the function of a flight controller inside of a drone? Yeah, yeah, essentially controls the motors, right? So that's the one of the biggest jobs of the flight controller, controlling the motors. Another piece is really, yeah, distributing the power. Another thing that it's really thinking about is the battery life. It's kind of working on that. Some really advanced flight controllers are using multiple sensors. Um, Many advanced flight controllers will also return to home. That's something our RubyQ drone can do. It has a position hold, return to home. The more advanced the flight controller, the more things that it can do. And so a more advanced flight controller can also be programmed, right, to go to to pursue a certain path or to take pictures at a certain interval, right? So, but most basically, that flight controller is designed to control those motors. Yeah, keep the stability and look at those sensors, listen to the sensors. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Moira. Congrats, Jay and Michelle, for the most quick draw answers. Awesome job. Uh, some keyboard cowboys here. Any questions before we kind of jump on into that giveaway? No worries. If you got any questions for us, feel free to throw that into the chat. I'd also like to say, yeah, to contact, to just give us an email, customized solutions. Oh, yes, Michelle. For a class of 15, how many drones are recommended? That's a good question. So it really depends on what kind of program you're looking at. So if you're looking at Ready, Set, Drone, we tend to recommend groups of 3 or 4 per drone. But if you're looking at something more like the RubyQ, that can definitely go up to groups of 5 for sure. Maybe even groups of 6. Can they do it in a classroom, or do they need? Oh yeah, no. Ready, Set, Drone and drone designers, we did all of our pilots in the classrooms. Uh, it worked really great. There are a lot of really awesome natural obstacles for uh, for uh, for drones in a classroom, which make it kind of challenging, but also really fun, right, and motivating. So we found that for Ready, Set, Drone and the drone designers in a classroom is perfect. However, the RubyQ, that we designate that as an outdoor drone. For Discover drones, that's a bigger drone. There aren't prop guards on it. We definitely designate that as an outdoor drone. It connects to 5 different GPS satellites when it takes off to give it some safety options. Uh, when I mentioned earlier that some of those flight controllers include that return to home feature, that's a safety option that the RubyQ actually has, our Discover Drones drone. And then, and it needs the GPS satellites in order to actually execute that return to home. But yes, to answer your question, the smaller drones, awesome in a classroom. The RubyQ is going to need some outdoor space. Yes, simulator. So yeah, the simulator uh, for the mini drones, we don't really do a whole lot of simulators. The mini drone kind of acts as a simulator for like a larger drone essentially. But for our RubyQ, we include in our camps the piece. It's called FPV Freerider. And so it's a really great drone simulator. And what we do is we have the students tune it to the exact specifications of the RubyQ drone. And then we have a checklist that they go through to complete before going out into the field with the actual drone. So that's for safety reasons and just to really learn those stick motions and make them automatic, right? Another great thing about the RubyQ drone is that it has a buddy box system, so it's essentially a driver's ed car brake, essentially. And so what you can do is you can tether 2 radio controls together so that the instructor is able to take over if the student loses control. So the instructor can take over and then trigger return to home or fail safe to have it automatically land, or if it's safe to have it fall out of the sky, you can just cut the motors. Yeah. Jacob. Yeah, so for the simulator, that's an easy question. You get 1 simulator license for each student. So a kid of 25 has that 25 simulator licenses, and those are not one-time use. Those are perpetual. You can install those on student devices, and then with your next class of 25 students, that next class of 25 students can use those. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, which program is best to start with? Well, I really think that the Ready Set Drone is a great starting point uh, because, like I kind of mentioned earlier, it gets students used to those stick motions in the flight controls. Also, it's really fun, even for a kind of older group, to pilot this mini drone through their own obstacle course. Um, I had so much fun putting together this is our 3rd edition of the camp, and I had the the job of putting together this 3rd edition of the camp with the Co-Drone Mini, and it was one of the most fun times I had as an adult, just kind of playing with this drone and learning how to use it. But I learned so much from the Co-Drone Mini itself. It's a really easy drone to fly. Uh, it's kind of foolproof in that way. You definitely can't get hurt with it. There's no real safety issues with batteries or anything. It's just very easy to get started with. But that's not to say that you can't get started with the RubyQ as well. I think our training and staff do such a good job of supporting you that, yeah, the RubyQ is a great place to start as well, the Discover drones. Oh, yes, absolutely. That's the greatest thing about the RubyQ, Michelle. So once you're done with it with that group or that after school program, you can just disassemble it or even have the students disassemble it and then pack it away, and then you have it ready for another group of students. So you can keep using that. And then once you, if you ever break a piece or anything, you can order replacement parts as well. We include some extra motors and some extra pieces in there in the kit. Yeah. Yeah, as far as staff coming to classrooms and doing demos, we definitely have our trainer go out and do trainings for teachers. That happens quite a bit. I don't know if we've ever done anything specifically with staff coming out and doing demos with students. I know that I would love to do that. I don't know if we're set up to do that, but I would love to. I'd definitely love to explore that. Susie, do you have any other?
We have in the past where we've been asked to come out and do like a summer camp that's over a week. Typically, we come out and train the facilitator. But if this is a special project or something that you'd be interested in finding out more about, I'd be happy to research it.
Yeah, awesome. Setting up the simulators. We have resources to set up the simulators on our digital resources. We also have a guide that goes through how to set those up. But that's definitely something we can walk through if you have questions on that during that 2-hour build session and 2-hour configure. 2 hours is more than enough time to build. We just like to give you 2 hours of time. So if you come to that build session with additional questions, our trainers are always happy to walk you through that, and we'll take you through that. Also, if you have any questions about setting up your simulator or you're just not quite sure where to go, just give us a call or chat us or send us an email, and we'll get you put in the right direction. Awesome. All right, so if there are not any other questions, I just want to say, reach out to us. We always like to hear from you. Let us know if you've got any questions or anything like that.
Jan, I will.
Oh,
just
yes.
wanted to, just share really quickly that we do a really great job of offering you programming advice. So if you ever want to sign up for a consult, you can meet with one of our STEM specialists and talk about what your program needs are, and we can go through and make the best recommendations based on your specific needs. Yeah. So, and that's free of charge. That's a complimentary consult for you and your program.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got way more programs than just drones. So definitely jump onto our website, reach out to us, check it out. We do all sorts of really fun STEM kits and activities for grades TK, so like preschool all the way up to 12th grade. So we've got tons of fun programming. And then adventures.com/subscribe to subscribe to future webinars as well. All right, so the main event. So I reminded you to subscribe to our website and everything. So yeah, stick around for the giveaway. All right, so while Moira's adding manually, thank you so much, Moira, manually adding these names, does anybody have any other questions? Anybody who's used drones in the classroom before? Do you have anything you'd like to share about what went well, what your students enjoyed, what you enjoyed? I think it's important for educators to enjoy what they're doing as well as the students enjoying it. That is a great rule. Drones don't get in your hair. Yes. Hair ties, that's a good piece of advice for drones as well. Something I sometimes forget. Oh, grades 2 to 5. Yeah. So it's something like Ready, Set, Drone, these co-drone minis. That's awesome. We did our pilot with 4th graders, and they did amazing. Yeah, they did a really good job and had so much fun. Yes, we do offer curriculum samples on our website. So if you want to look at some curriculum samples, you can go to our website and then request a sample. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Moira. Much better. Now everybody can see. Awesome. We've got a winner, Matt. Matt G. Awesome. Good job. Yeah. Well, congratulations. Excellent. Everybody who is registered for this webinar will receive those links to those PDFs as well. So you can use those. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, have a good night.